Good morning. It is cycle day 22, 7 days past ovulation, 9 days past my trigger shot, and it is June 19th. I almost remembered it all. I was so close. The temperature was really high the last 2 days, which seemed like a really promising sign. And then today it dropped a lot. It's still above cover line, but it definitely went down a lot. So that could mean an implantation dip, which would be cool, or it could mean that there's no baby there and my body's just winding down. I did do one of the Prove progesterone checks today. My app is being funky and I can't log it yet, but it looks good. Usually my progesterone is not very high, which concerns me for ovulation purposes and implantation purposes, but I think it looks good today, so I'll have to wait till the app lets me import that. Pregnancy test looks about the same as it has the past 2 days. I'm just waiting for the line to go away so that I can start testing for real. Let me show you. Here's an overview of everything. Like I said, today we're 9 days past trigger. And here's the last few days. They look pretty similar to me. I can't tell if today is lighter than yesterday or not. It's hard to tell. What do you think? Does today's look lighter or do they look the same? My LH has been high ever since I did the trigger shot, which makes sense. It was from the trigger shot being in my system. But that's finally dropping back down. That's 0.66 today. It's thundering outside, so if you hear rumbles, that's what that is. So, making some progress. Now we just have to hope that everything goes back up again, which is nerve-wracking because I've been watching it and waiting for it to go down. Now it's going down, and now I want it to go back up. So this whole process is confusing. I still feel hopeful, but a little bit nervous because of my temperature. But hopefully, tomorrow is ADPO. That's usually when I would start testing. But if the trigger shot's still in my system, it's not gonna be accurate. But I'm gonna keep taking a test every single day and seeing how it goes. I don't really want to use first response too much this cycle. This last cycle it gave me lots of issues, so I don't really want to do that. I want to stick with the easy at home tests as long as I can. I don't know what that was. So we'll just stick to this for now, but that's the update for today. Nothing too exciting yet, but hopefully soon it gets exciting. Good morning. Today is Sunday, Father's Day actually. It is June 20th, 2021. I'm cycle day 23, 8 days past ovulation, 10 days past my trigger shot. I think that's all the numbers. There's so many numbers. Feeling semi-good about today. I had a really big temperature drop yesterday. I'd be concerned. Today it almost went back up to where it was before, which can be a good sign that maybe yesterday was implantation. So I won't know for sure until I keep watching my chart and seeing if it continues to go up or not. But the fact that it went up today makes me excited. So hopefully that's a good sign. My trigger shot is basically out of my system. There's not really much left. So now the options are that it could keep getting lighter because it is still there a little bit. So it could keep going down till it's completely, absolutely gone, which is possible. Or it could start getting darker and going back up if my body is actually producing HCG and if I'm actually pregnant. So I hope it's the second option and that it just continues to get darker now and becomes a real positive pregnancy test. I haven't taken any of the tests yet. Wanted to show you the process just in case I get some good news. I wanted y'all to be able to see it. But I will do the Prove test again today to check my progesterone levels. I have a lot of acne right here around my chest area, which I've never gotten before. So I'm hoping that's a sign that my hormones are doing what they're supposed to do. Could be from the progesterone, because normally I have low progesterone levels, so if that's actually high, it could be a good thing. Or it could be from pregnancy, that maybe it's breaking out from other hormonal changes. So let's hope that's the case. Besides that, not really feeling a ton of symptoms. Yesterday I wasn't super hungry, which is weird for me. I ate all of my meals much later than usual. I didn't feel nauseous, I didn't feel bad, I just wasn't hungry. But I ate all of my meals because I had to take my medicine, so I knew I had to eat. But that's it so far. No cramping or boob tenderness or anything like that. Besides the acne, not being really hungry. That's all I got going. So let's hope that today we start seeing a change in things. But I also know that I'm only 8 days past ovulation, so still pretty early, but I can hope. All right, got my proof test to check for progesterone, got my LH test and my pregnancy test easy at home. Let's see how they look. Got them all drying down here. Like I said, I'm only 8 days past ovulation, so even on like a normal cycle, this will be very early to get a positive pregnancy test. I will probably still have a line on the pregnancy test for my trigger shot that I had 10 days ago, but now we just want the line to start getting darker. So nothing yet, they're all drying, but I'll check back in. So here's my proof test, and these tests are different than the other tests because you want only one line. That if there's a second line, that means that your progesterone is low, but if you have just one line, it means that it's high. And I feel like I kind of do see a second line, but the app says that it's high. It's 7.0, so I think anything over 5 is considered high. So that makes me excited because I've only ever got a 7.0 once before, and then the whole rest of the cycle was low. And yesterday was really close to being high, so that's a good sign that the progesterone's actually working in my body this time. My LH test and my pregnancy test look lighter. I'll show you. Here's the LH test. Still fairly dark for me so far after ovulation, but definitely lighter than yesterday. Here's the pregnancy test. You probably can't even see it on the camera, but there's still a super faint line on there. Could still be the trigger shot leaving my system, or it could mean that I'm not pregnant. We're just gonna have to wait and see, but it is not darker today, and that's all I know. I'll be back tomorrow for 9 DPO, and hopefully that little line starts to get darker. Good morning. It is Monday, June 21st. I am 9 days past ovulation and past my IUI. My trigger shot seems basically gone. My test yesterday morning, it looked incredibly light, and then I took another test around the evening time and it looked even lighter. So I believe the trigger shot is out of my system. So now we just hope that it gets darker. So if it starts to get darker, that means that my body is producing its CG on its own. I can't say it. So that means that I could actually be pregnant, and it's not just from a trigger shot. My temperature did go down a little bit today, which makes me nervous, but temperatures fluctuate all the time, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Not feeling too many symptoms. I did have that breakout on my chest that is still clearing up. Besides that, I haven't really had any symptoms, so hopefully everything's working the way that it should. I'll do another proof test to check my progesterone levels and see if my progesterone is still doing well, and then I'll do a pregnancy test and an LH test just to see how those are doing. But hopefully there's a line. I'm still only 9 DPO, so that's pretty early. I could still be pregnant and not get a line yet, but I hope that I do. It's possible now to get one at any point, so I shall hope, and we'll see what happens. Prove and easy at home LH and pregnancy test. Depending on how these ones take, I might do a first response just to see the baseline, because if these are light or lighter, I want to know what the baseline looks like from my trigger shot to make sure that if I do take one in the future, it doesn't pick up leftover trigger shots. So we'll see how they look today, because all I have a baseline for right now are these easy at home tests. So let's see. Okay, got everything drying. Got our easy at home tests, our proof test. Want the proof to be lighter, because if that one has only one line, that means your progesterone is good. All the other ones, we want a nice dark second line. So we'll see. Like I said, depending on how these dry, maybe we'll add in some other tests too, now that my trigger line seems to have left. It's possible too that I could have like nothing on my tests for a few days and then it comes back. So even if it is blink today, it doesn't mean that it won't be in the future. So all the reminders to myself and to you. I still see a line on here. It's very faint, but I do still see it. So now I have to compare, is it darker than yesterday or not? So I'm gonna leave that over there. I am gonna do a first response just to get kind of a baseline, because if it's still showing up on that, I want to see what it looks like on here. Also, my proof, I think looks lighter than yesterday, which is good. Proof we want to be light. It still says 7.0 for my approved result, which I'm thinking is like the highest it can be. It's exactly what it said yesterday, which is fantastic, because usually I only get one high reading in my progesterone, and this time I got 2 in a row. Yay! So let's take this. I also need to do my LH test. I forgot about that. Hold on a second. So I did a first response just to be able to compare with future first responses. I do see a line on this one, but what matters is if this line starts to get darker, because this could still be from the trigger shot. So I have to keep testing with this each morning and see how it goes. I also have one of the one-flow tests now. I don't really see anything on this one, which is surprising, but I'll keep testing with this one too to see how it goes. And one last close-up of the Easy at Home. Again, I still see a line, but I don't think it's darker, but I'll check back when it is dried. So I'm not out yet. I could be pregnant, but we just gotta keep waiting and seeing, which sucks. So I'll keep testing. I'll keep seeing how the lines match up, and hopefully they start getting darker. But my trigger shot's looking good. It either is the same, or maybe my body's starting to produce HCG. Hopefully that choice. But maybe I'll take another test later. We'll see.